You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is I decided to go a bit early so I could talk to you. Just make sure you knew you were in.
Okay, I know.
I'm not sure where Mary Beckoff is. And I tested it with Susan and her husband, John. So so you were the person in the upper right hand corner of that image,
Yes.
and they had you bend your neck.
Yeah, can you imagine? My mother wouldn't even buy the pictures.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. So,
Are we all in there? Are we all on now
oh, you're it. You're the only one.
so far?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I expected
Where's Gretchen?
I don't know. We practice.
Hmm.
Um
Gee, with the messenger going back and forth, I thought that Mary was.
here's Susan and her husband.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Susan and her
Hi.
husband are there.
Hi.
So I put you on early. We're waiting for everyone else to show up, and then at 7:30, I'll run the countdown camera. But at least we can talk.
Okay.
So don't leave it all in the green room, though. All the
Green room.
Don't leave it all in the green. So we're in the middle. How do I move us, or don't I?
You don't.
Are we staying?
Oh, finally. Thank you.
There's Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, but we're not going live yet. We're still waiting.
Okay. I had a lot of trouble getting on. I could not get on my computer. It's awful.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
We still go live in 7.5 minutes.
Okay.
So, but I did this so we could all talk.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And leave it in the green room. Don't leave it in the green room. The secrets of Wonton.
Who's the sixth one?
Is there a way to make my screen bigger so everybody's a little bigger? Right now, everybody's postage stamps.
Well, I don't know what screen you're on.
I'm on the StreamYard. I went on there.
Oh, I understand.
Well, where's Mary? Mary isn't here yet, is she?
No.
Well, she keeps on.
I did it. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I'm worried that Mary thinks all she has to do is be in
There's only 5 of us.
Messenger.
Well, who was the sixth person?
That's what I was just wondering.
Well, no, there isn't. There's
only 5 of us?
And wait, I'm 6.
Oh.
You're younger.
You only wanted the class of 63.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And Richie Zitrick couldn't come, and neither could Ron Matthews.
Yeah, I can get Gus Costa, but he's class of 65. He's too young.
I resemble that.
Rich.
I resemble that. Off the books.
Richie Zitrick was not in our class. His brother.
No, he
John
was 60. He was
right?
class of 60.
Yeah, John Zitrick was in our class.
Ah,
right?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
John Zitrick, was he in our class?
I don't know, John. I knew Richard.
Rich, I knew about.
Yeah. So okay, let me talk to all of you. Just one second.
Now, we're supposed to mute ourselves when we're not talking?
Okay, so you're gonna mute yourself when you're not talking.
How are we? I don't know how.
How will we hear you?
Well, you don't have to mute yourself.
On the bottom.
As long as there's no feedback. Like Gretchen, you won't get feedback because you have the earbuds.
Okay.
So we're good. And we should be fine. We should be fine. We have everybody here. But
not you. Yeah,
Um,
from the picture so they can see you.
Okay, I'm
I tell you what, I'm going to do my 30-second. So you're going to go off screen, all of you right now. And there's
Okay.
going to be a 30-second countdown. And we're going to start early. All right.
All right.
We're all here.
Sure.
All right. Ready, set.
Is this a
Get over here.
Wow. This is the first time of getting to know you where everyone was early.
Cool.
And we actually started the show early. I can't believe it. All right, so let me get my primer sheet up here because you all know one another, but I only know one of you. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, so your names
We
don't
all know
appear.
each other.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
So the one that I know is Gretchen. So Gretchen Krum, who's, if you're looking at the scorecard behind you or in the upper right-hand corner, Gretchen's in the right-hand corner bottom. Mary Beckoff, you can wave.
Hi.
John Hamill. I had to put the guy in the middle.
Okay.
Hi, John.
Make sure. So Kathy Gustafson,
Hi, Kathy.
Here I am.
top
Still
middle,
standing.
and Susan Passaro. All right. And I know you all go by different last names, but
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, who cares?
yeah. So
It's only a name.
I am betting Kath. You go by Kathy, right? So
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
you still have a pretty heavy New York accent. Do you?
Well, because I've only been off Long Island 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm up in Western Central New York. Going back to the island on August 3rd for 3 weeks.
Western
Ah.
Yeah, can't wait.
Central. Where's Western Central New York?
Rochester.
Oh, I'm going up to a place called Rose in Wayne County.
Okay, that's north of me.
And
Wayne County. Yeah.
I found out that I have a treasure trove of cousins
Ah,
living in Rose.
how do you like that?
Yeah, I had never explored my mother's side in Ancestry, and it turns out they're all there.
How do you like that? Well, I live in Canandaigua, one of the Finger Lakes, Canandaigua Lake. It's
Cool.
about a mile and a half from me.
All right.
Very
So
different up here from Long Island. Very different.
yeah, it's less humid.
Oh, yeah. Not today.
more snow though?
Yeah,
Pardon
more
me?
snow.
More snow?
More snow, more wind, lake effect snow, lake effect everything. In the wind, it's terrible.
Uh,
Not like Long Island at all.
All right. Well, okay. So I'm going to try to follow some of the format that I'm used to doing, but I wanted to ask different questions, starting off questions of you guys, because you're a bit further back than the other classes that I've been interviewing.
Is that a nice way of saying that we're old?
No.
Every one of us is still standing.
So basically, Wanta wasn't even invented when you moved there, I'm sure. But- Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Of course.
So I'm going to start with Gretchen. And Gretchen, if you could tell us how you ended up in Wanta, where you came from, and what part of town you lived in. And
Okay.
don't go past what elementary school you went to.
Okay. I did not go to, I only went to high school in Wantagh. Before that, I lived in Endicott, New York, and that's where I went from kindergarten through 8th grade, in Endicott. My father was superintendent of schools there, and he left there to go to Wantagh, and they didn't call it superintendent; they called it district principal, I think, at the time. Anyway, he took the job on Long Island, and that's how I ended up in Wantagh. And we lived right on Wantagh Avenue, 1536. It was, I could walk to the high school. It was fairly near the animal hospital that was on Wantagh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
No,
by the way,
Bidewee
Not
was
bad.
across the street from the high school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's like the
Right.
They had
Bidewee.
an animal hospital connected to it.
Okay, well then that may have been the one that was on Wantagh Ave. I don't know.
well, you came up Belta Avenue and you made a right-hand turn. There was a gas station and then the medical building. Actually, there was the medical building and then the gas station and then the log. What later years they called the log. So
What's the log?
the log is
log?
where everybody went to do drugs and drink.
Oh, geez. Long after I was gone.
I never heard of that.
That's where you went. You had to go if somebody challenged you to a fight. You had to show up at the log. So
I
that
never
was-
heard of that.
Yeah, that's because you didn't have people who picked on you back in '63.
Oh, not true.
I had a girl in 8th grade was going to beat me up at the path down by the parkway. I did not show up.
Oh, there you go.
God.
See,
And the path by the parkway is where the log is.
Oh my
The
gosh.
log is right after you walk
Oh, okay, I don't
out
remember.
of the high school by
Right.
Bidewee.
right.
Oh, wow.
And if people knew that you lived on the other side of Want Avenue, they just waited at the top of Belta Avenue for you to have to go home. So,
Oh gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
and so,
Thugs in Wantagh? I can't believe it.
yeah,
We grew up in the nice time at Wantagh.
you did. That's what I
I guess
want to
so.
talk about, the nice times of Wantagh.
Yeah, but there were what we called hoods. Remember
Yeah.
the hoods?
It was some, yeah.
Yes.
In our era.
Yeah.
That's what we called the bad boys, I guess. Or bad girls too. I'm not being
Yeah. Well, anyway.
anyway.
So I'm going to share my one story and why I know Gretchen from a long time ago, and then we'll move on to everybody else. But I actually heard Gretchen from my brother, but I knew the name Gretchen because I remember when we met again, I said, my brother knew somebody named Gretchen, and you said you were the only Gretchen in, around the class of 62. But anyhow, I was in 6th grade, and this person came in with a spider monkey.
No, a squirrel monkey.
Squirrel monkey. Squirrel monkey. And I to this day remember the monkey. I remember the person coming in. She was like hippie-ish, it was. But anyway, that was our dear Gretchen. So, and she remembers it too.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
We had a pet monkey and I would not recommend this to anyone because it was a terrible thing to do to a monkey to have it in a non-tropical environment.
Oh,
But back then I didn't know any better. And my first husband, Steve Madoff, whom some of you probably remember,
Of course.
got this monkey when we were at Michigan State, and we went into a pet store, and it was just a whim. It was either a monkey or a mynah bird, and how we ended up with the monkey, I really don't know. But he was adorable, but he became very ill with pneumonia and stuff because it really wasn't good for him to be in a non-tropical climate. So that's my monkey story.
Cool. Well, I did. It was fun that you brought it into my class, and you probably have no idea why you came to our school.
Oh yeah, I do. My somebody knew that we had a monkey, and so my dad was superintendent, so the teacher probably asked my father, and he told me, and because it was an educational thing for the kids in the class, and so that's why.
Yeah, it was. It
Cool.
was Mrs. Lamb, and you probably went to other classes.
No, I don't remember, just the
Yeah.
one that I recall, but
Yeah, well, that was it. So
yeah.
let's go to the cool-looking guy. He has that flat top haircut, and
Yeah.
and he.
There's not much of that left.
Oh, you still got it. You still got it going. So, tell us where you moved from to Wantagh, when you moved in, and what else. Oh, I know we've already talked about this stuff, but people listening in don't know. So pretend we didn't talk.
Are we the only ones listening in?
No, people are listening.
Really?
Yeah,
From
yeah,
the class?
yeah. People were
Oh,
looking
okay.
forward to this.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So
All right. We moved to Wantagh in right around 1950. We came from Brooklyn. My parents were raised in Brooklyn. My grandparents lived in Brooklyn. All my relatives lived in Brooklyn. Slowly but surely, they all moved out to Long Island, but we were the first. When I moved to Long Island, the only public school I can remember going to was the Beach Street School in the public school system. Then I went to Catholic school through 8th grade. That was in Seaford, St. William the Abbot. And then I went to Catholic high school at Chaminade High School through my freshman and sophomore year. And in the middle of my sophomore year, in the middle of the summer of my sophomore year, I met this lady here. And then I happened to transfer to Wantagh because I was tired of taking, if you remember the bus that used to run along Park Avenue in
Right?
the town of Wantagh, I used to take that bus to Uniondale.
Oh.
And then another one from Uniondale to Mineola to go to Chaminade High School. So that got real old. And so I transferred to Wantagh High School. But the long and the short of it is I didn't know as many people as these ladies did. And they knew them since they were in diapers, They all went to preschool and kindergarten and
Not me.
not you?
Not me either.
And so
Not me.
that's my story.
yeah. Well, I married a person from Wantagh, and we got married 2 years ago, but have been together for 12 years. She only lived a few blocks away, and we're the same age, so she went to kindergarten and then to St. Francis for 8 years. And she wasn't having any more Catholic education, so she went to the school. So I don't know Mary Beckoff. So,
Okay, well, I'm here. What?
so go for it.
I
You
go
know the
see-
questions. You know the questions. Where'd you come from? When did you move in?
Brooklyn.
When did you move?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. And I came in 1951, but I was in time for Seymour Road School because I'd already been through most of kindergarten, so most of first grade. So I was in first grade at the school that became the administrative building.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By second grade, I went to Beach Street.
Right.
And by third grade, I was in Sunrise Park. Now you have to remember, I lived down the block from the high school. So we had to get on a bus. So they didn't care where they bused us to. The furthest, whatever was empty, they took my neighborhood and put us there. So Sunrise. And then by fourth grade, I was in high school. We were there for the fourth grade. We were there for the fifth grade. And then they needed to put us in Beach Street for the 6th grade because, yeah, I was in Sue's class.
Yeah.
We were in Mrs. Woodhead together.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Were we in Mrs. Sanders too? Together?
I don't remember Sanders.
She was 5th grade.
No,
I had Mrs. Wilkins.
Ashley or Ash, somebody.
Oh, Ashley was a different teacher. She was
yeah, I
there.
have.
And Mrs. Wilkinson, who
Oh,
lived
yeah.
in your neighborhood, George's mom, I
Yeah.
had in the 4th grade. She
Me
was
too.
wonderful.
So we were in the same class
4th
there.
grade.
Yeah,
Right.
she was great.
And so was Ed, my first husband. I too had a first husband from Wantor, Ed Williams, and he was in that class.
Wow.
So we know
Hey.
everything about Wantor that you need to know.
No, that's-
And I was there.
You know all the
last
schools
week
anyway.
and ate in Kwangming. Who remembers
Oh, yeah.
Kwangming?
Oh gosh, yes.
yeah.
Yes,
That was
it's
my
still
first
there.
experience
It
with
looks
Chinese
the same.
food.
It still looks the same.
And it still tastes the same.
Yes,
Yeah, that was
pretty
great.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The egg rolls is still huge.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. The
And
stories. Go ahead.
now I'm married for a year. My anniversary is this week to Howard Hahn from North Belmore, right off of Sawmill.
Wow.
But we met, of course, here in Connecticut, where I've lived for 40 years.
Oh, you're in Connecticut.
Wow.
I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut since 1970.
Yeah.
All right. Don't give away the lead. We're going to get
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
I'm done now.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting talking about moving around the schools because your class was small, but you didn't have a large inventory of classrooms. My class was the largest, 75 with 520 students.
Oh wow.
And so they moved us willy-nilly. People, you know, just like you're talking about. We had Mandalay School. People from Mandalay would come to Beach Street School. People from Forest Lake would go to Mandalay. So it was kind of balancing out the school. But I don't know if you remember how many people you had in your class.
243.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Maybe I'm off by a few.
I was gonna say 263, but I'm not sure. But that it's around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my brothers had like 250. So, and he
Yeah.
graduated a year advance of you in 62. So, okay, Kathy, you're on mute. You're on mute.
There we go. Can you hear me
There
now?
we go. So what's
Yes.
your story with the New
Okay.
York
Well,
accent?
I came from Brooklyn as well. Bay Ridge. Was that where you guys came from? Bay Ridge? In Brooklyn?
Flatbush.
Flatbush. Okay. Well, anyway, we first went to Massapequa in 1949 and to Wantor when I was in 3rd grade at Sunrise Park. And I had Mrs. Sterner and then Mrs. Seiler and then Mr. Colano. Then we left for 2 years and came back. And at that time, we lived on Mermaid Avenue at the dead end part of it by the Parkway. When we came back, we lived on Bayport Court towards the canal and where Mandalay was. My brother George started kindergarten in Mandalay. And I loved Wantor. I really did. I just loved
Still a
it.
great town.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
You know, I don't know anybody who lives there now because I got married in 66 and then my parents left Wantor altogether and moved to Suffolk County in 68. So I didn't have much opportunity or reason to go there. I have gone by every 10 or 20 years and taken a look at the house and it looks very small and very different.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have great memories of Wantor.
Yeah, I would think that being below Merrick Road that seems so far away.
Yeah, well, we had to take the bus to the high school, but we walked to Sunrise Park.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So now we have one remaining person, and there is one. Sue Passaro, Susan Passaro. Did you go by Sue or Susan?
Usually Sue, but either is fine. So really, Mary just told you my history.
Oh, okay. Well, next we'll move on.
Almost the same. Born in Brooklyn, South Brooklyn, though. And then when I was 9, fourth grade was when we moved to Wantagh. And I had been in Catholic school in Brooklyn, but when we came to Wantagh, when my parents decided I would go to public school. But it was really confusing because fourth grade, they put me in the high school, like Mary said. But it worked out great. We were there for 2 years, and then Beach Street, and then they had a section for the junior high in the high school, which was kept separate. And I went there for junior high and high school, and gosh, I loved every minute of
Sure,
it.
you got to flirt with all the high school boys.
There you go.
And she must have flirted with you. You left Chaminade.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
must have
It's
been
over the
very
summer.
powerful.
Yeah, good flirting. But so my parents lived in Freeport from 48, and then 49 they actually moved to Wantagh, and they bought 2 homes at the end of Temple Drive. Well, on Temple Drive, the end of Princeton Drive North, which is called Wantagh Woods because behind the homes there were woods.
Yeah.
And so my grandmother and my great grandmother lived next door and were always babysitters. And then my parents' house, and I've gone back and yeah, they seem small, that's for sure. So who can describe the luncheonette on Park Avenue at Wantagh Avenue?
Not me. I know the
Not
den,
me.
Cherrywood.
How about the one in Cherrywood? That's
Yeah.
where we went.
Oh, you did
Cherrywood.
Cherrywood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Park Avenue and Wantagh. Which corner?
I
There was a luncheonette just on, I don't know how to describe it, where they actually served fountain drinks, and you got a real cream soda there. I remember that as a kid, my brother taking me there. And there was the hobby shop was on the side, and then you came around the turn. And I'm trying to think of anything that you could relate to. How they're,
was the Wantagh 5 and 10 there.
I think that's across the street from where he's.
no. The 5 and 10 was the same
Yes.
area, but there was the paint store that separated the 5 and 10 from the other section.
Mr. Hess was there.
Yeah, Mr. Hess, Arden's, all those.
Ran there.
And then there was a ladies' dress shop there too.
Wasn't there a drugstore there too?
It was a drugstore luncheonette counter.
There was a luncheonette down on Merrick Road, just west of the Parkway, the beach parkway there that went to the beach. I don't remember the name of it, but they had fountain drinks too. That was an old-fashioned type of a store, and they sold candy in jars and whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Next, not far from the Casabella. Yeah.
So my great grandmother was born in 1864, and she died in 1963, and I remember her. So, and I remember her still being able to go and get a cream soda at this place, and that we would go as a family, to that. But anyhow, it's the thing I wanted you to, that's different from the rest, is to talk about the memories of Wantagh, because you guys are the same age as my older brother, and he loved Wantagh. It was his center in his heart until he got to California and fell in love with California. but he had great memories from Wantagh. And, are there any particular memories of Wantagh that you might have that you want to share?
The beach. Everybody would remember the beach.
Oh
beach?
yeah, the
Jones
beach.
Beach was it.
Oh,
The
my
beach
God.
was the best. It was the best.
Yeah, but you didn't have did you have a bus that you could take?
Yes.
Yep.
We used to hitchhike
Actually,
down.
But there
Wantagh,
was a bus.
There was a bus. We used to hitchhike. Well, she didn't, but we would hitchhike down every day or every other day or whatever, and then usually take the bus back.
I took the bus both ways. I'd walk to the station or sometimes catch the Wantagh Avenue bus, but not usually. Walk to the station and get on the bus for Jones Beach. I
Yeah.
don't remember if it was a quarter. I think it was a quarter.
Oh,
And we all met by the lifeguard stand on the left-hand side by the sign, and you knew that's where your class was.
Yep.
We were all there. You didn't need to go with anybody. There were no cliques. Everybody was welcome.
What field?
Field 4.
four.
Was it 4?
That's where the
Yeah,
bus
field
By
was.
the
4.
pool. The West
Right.
Bathhouse.
Yeah.
The West Bathhouse at 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a great pool. I did my first dive and my last dive off that top board. I did a belly flop. Never dived again, ever.
Wow. I don't remember ever swimming in the pool, even though I went, to Jones Beach. My grandfather lived on Randall's Channel, and they had a thing called the casino at the end of the channel that had its own pool and like 6 diving boards.
Oh.
And
Wow.
that was where we would go when we
Yeah.
weren't swimming.
Was that Freeport?
Yeah, that was Freeport.
Yeah.
And we would take my father would bundle me under the bow of our boat and just kind of stick me under there, and he'd take me across to Short Beach, and then we would just be in Zach's Bay hanging out. I remember that. And then I think when I was 5 or 6, we would walk across. There was a tunnel that you could walk under, and we'd end up at the West Bathhouse. And my father was a lifeguard, not at Jones Beach, but he grew up as a lifeguard. And he just threw me in the water. The ocean. He said, "You'll figure it out." But he taught us all how to, swim the riptides, understand the riptides.
Yeah, that's a good skill to have.
Yeah. So you were able to get around. There weren't cliques. There were the greasers. There were the
Oh,
greasers.
there were cliques. There were definitely cliques in the
But that was
school.
more in high school.
Yeah.
But they were
Okay.
friendly to one another. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't exclusionary cliques.
The people were nice.
Absolutely. People were really nice.
Well, that's cool. That's
It was more like interests, like people who were in sports, the girls in sports, or drama, or academic clubs. But I don't remember anybody. I don't remember bullying.
Neither do I.
No,
No.
it was a great.
Well, I can attest.
Bully girls.
I can attest for the fact that by 1971, there was definitely bullying. I've done five episodes with the class of 71, and we're about to do our 6th next Monday. And one person spoke about how they had to be moved in grade school out of Forest Lake to Beach Street School because they were bullied in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, things change quickly. But there was a kid I grew up with who was bullied all the time, and I would stick up for him and ended up, fighting his fights. And because I thought it was the right thing to do. But anyhow, okay. So what day did you graduate? What day? What was the number? It was June
Oh, geez, 20 something? I don't know.
I don't remember
Outside,
the
it
date.
was outside.
Yeah, it was outside.
June
It was
20.
very sunny.
Here's a guess. June
On the
24th.
football field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Football
called
field.
Lawrence. That's called Lawrence Field now.
Who's
That's
Lawrence?
Dr. Lawrence was before Dr. Krum.
Oh, I don't remember
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah, he
Wow.
was the first chancellor
Okay, I
or
don't remember
head
him.
of the Wantagh School District.
Okay.
And, do you know Alice Dingman? Gretchen?
Yes, Mrs. Dingman.
Right, that's the mother. But Dingman replaced your father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
And then he went up to be head of Westchester County Schools after Wantagh. So Wantagh was a
No.
good breeding area for a good school.
Oh,
So,
it was.
so anyway, Kathy, there you are. You're on the field. You're graduating.
Yeah, that was so exciting.
What did you do the next day? And
Went to the beach.
What else did you do?
wait. It's more a rhetorical or
okay.
metaphysical question about what did you end up choosing to do with
Well,
your life after that point?
my parents wanted me to go to college, but the girls that I hung out with were going to work. So I won that feat, went to college after I got divorced. So anyhow, I got a job at Irving Trust in New York City at One Wall. I had 2 weeks off before I started. I went to the beach every single day. And when people were hired back then in 63, they hired groups of people, women, and they put them in a typing pool. And you just sit away typing nonsense. And each day, the HR person, then called personnel, would come in and take people to different departments. Well, I was supposed to go in bookkeeping, but they came and went. So then one day the woman comes in and she says, "Who wants to be data entry, key punch?" I don't go my hands. I had no idea what it was. So of course it was typing, in data processing. But what it turned out to be, it was a great skill because as time went on and after I divorced, I went back to work and the whole thing, I became a purchasing manager. And it was a good start because I would have never known how to do all that stuff if I hadn't started there. And that was it.
That's cool. That's cool. So you were an early computer person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was unit record, cards, and all that stuff, and wires on boards. I could wire boards. If they put them in front of me today, I'm sure I could not do it. But it was fun. It was different.
Yeah, I was the very last in graduate school, last card class where we programmed our statistics on cards and ran it through the PDP-11.
Yeah, right? Yeah, those machines.
And got our statistics.
Yeah.
So where'd you end up going to college?
I went to Nassau, to Suffolk, and to Cornell. In Westbury to a women's program at Cornell, which was wonderful. I learned so much. And from that point on is when I went into management. And that was in around 1980, 82. And then I went into purchasing management and inventory control.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So John, what's your life path? You went to the beach and the summer's over and you got the woman next to you as your steadfast girlfriend, I presume.
Yeah. Until I went away to college.
Uh-oh.
I went away to Niagara University, a Catholic university, of course.
Oh my God.
And she went to Hofstra on a full scholarship. They didn't pay for the books, they paid everything. And she began dating everybody at Hofstra. She was dating
everybody.
She was dating the quarterback of the football team, the star, Timmy Connors. Who later became one of my fraternity brothers. So, but to make a long story short,
You
I transferred back to Hofstra. And we finished school together, and then after we graduated, we got married. And we lived in a small apartment in North Belmore for a while. Then we moved out to Eastern Long Island to Farmingville. And then we got transferred to Houston. I worked for Shell Oil Company for 36 years. Got transferred to Houston, then did various jobs. And then ultimately got transferred to Chicago as a regional manager. And they kept closing the regions down. And then I became the national manager, but I still stayed in Chicago. And that's where we are now. And I'm retired for 16 years now from Shell.
Wow.
And along the way, we had 3 children. And we have 5 grandchildren.
Cool.
And we just got a brand new puppy. So,
Cool.
what are you going to tell them?
Yeah, you told my story.
And he knew definitely how to make you jealous.
It really worked.
Yeah. It got him back from Niagara.
Oh, I was jealous. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to college, and I told my granddaughters the same thing, if it's true love, it's going to wait, but you're going to enjoy college. And academic is the main part. I knew that. But I was going to go out and have fun and go to parties and football games. And so then he came and did it with me. So it worked out great.
Now, I'm 6'2", and Sue is almost 5 feet. And they used to laugh about me being Jeff and she being Matt. She dated a guy from Hofstra who was 6'11".
Oh my God.
He was a basketball player. Real nice guy.
Wow.
I got to meet all the guys she dated. And most of them became my fraternity brothers.
There weren't that many.
So basically you're saying your wife got around.
No, I didn't mean that.
I know. I'm just kidding. So a serious question, Sue, women's roles were evolving, or they hadn't evolved a lot at that point. So there were expectations of women, to type or to teach. So I'm going to ask the same thing of Gretchen, who's going to go next. But what did you end up doing? I mean, you went to college to do what?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to teach. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a teaching nun. So then, obviously, that didn't happen. But I still wanted to teach. And to this day, like my grandkids will say to me, "If you could have been anything, what would you choose?" It would have been a teacher. And I do consider myself very liberated, right? But I love teaching. I love children. I love puppies. I just love people. Teaching was a great job. We had great teachers at Wanta too, which I don't know.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
But Sue, did you end up being a teacher?
I did. I taught. I taught 1 year in Mandalay, and then I had my son. And when you talk about women's roles back then, as soon as pregnancy started to show, you were supposed to leave. But my principal was Mr. Ritz, who also was a teacher there when we were in elementary school and maybe part of high school. And he did not follow that rule. And I taught until the end of June and had my son the beginning of August. So even back then, there were people who were starting to see the light about women. He was great. I don't know if he's still, I haven't seen anything about him on any of the Wanta websites.
I don't know the name. So, so Gretchen, I know you went to Michigan State, but
Right.
So you went with a group of Wanta people.
Well, yeah. Ed Weir went.
Yeah.
And my future husband, Steve Madoff, went.
I think Ed's told me there were two more people.
There might, yeah, I don't know. Pete Sferrazza, however you say
Yes,
his name,
Safraza.
went to Michigan. I believe he was there for a while. I don't think he finished there. I don't really know. But yeah, Steve and I got married very young and before we finished school. And that might have been one of the reasons it didn't last, because we were both very young. But anyway, I studied communication arts there. And then after that, after I graduated from Michigan State, I got pregnant with my daughter. I had I lost a pregnancy before her and after her, and which was very sad. But she was born. I had a lot of difficulty. She was born prematurely. Anyway, she, she's now an MD, an OBGYN, and she's fine. And she's getting married August 28th.
Nice.
Nice.
So she, after Steve and I split up, I went to grad school in Buffalo, and I studied communication disorders, and that's what I became, a speech language pathologist. And I worked at Children's Hospital in Buffalo for 8 or 9 years, and then moved to the Hudson Valley area where I am now, and worked at SUNY New Paltz as a coordinator of clinical services, clinical supervisor, and absolutely loved my career. I've been retired from the full-time job since 2007. And I worked 6 more years part-time, just doing off-campus supervision of students in different practicum settings. And then I broke my ankle, and that was it. I did not go back. I was going to go back, but after a year had passed, which allowed my ankle to heal, et cetera, I decided I liked not working.
Wow.
So I retired for, full time. And I am married to my lovely John Brassard. We've been together since we got married in 98, but we met in 95. And we have together 3 grandchildren, all boys. I was hoping for a girl, but it didn't happen. But we have Liam, who's almost 6, and Silas, who's almost 3, and Jude, who's John's son's son, who will be 3 July 31st.
Cool.
So we have a, nice crop of little, just lovely boy. And I am so happy to be a grandmother. It's just the best.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. So I have 2 questions for you. First, Jean wanted to know whether you go to the Groovy Blueberry in New Paltz.
No, I've never gone there, but I've seen it many times and wondered, what was in there, but I never went.
Yeah, that's probably where people get their bagels and their mushrooms.
Something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the students. And having had a father who was so highly educated, was there an expectation that?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, it was not easy being Bill Clarence Withers' son. What was his name? John.
Jonathan.
He and I had this in common, where your father is an administrator in the same school district where you go. It was not easy. I think from my perspective, I didn't think about it much, but as I got older, I realized the teachers might have felt pressure. Oh my God, here's my boss's daughter. I better treat her a certain way. And other people thought I was a real brown nose. One person in particular, who shall remain nameless, but it was not. It was hard being a Krum, first of all, with that maiden name. Oh my God. In the same school district where your dad was superintendent, Dr. Krum, and I was always Dr. Krum's daughter. I wasn't necessarily Gretchen. I was known for, and one of my teachers in elementary school, not in Wantagh, told me that I was a reflection on him, and if I didn't behave, I should be ashamed.
Oh.
So, it like I said, it wasn't easy, but here I am. I'm okay.
Yeah, I was wondering what that pressure would be, because we've had some previous guests whose parents were administrators or teachers in the Wantagh school system. And, it was particularly hard for them.
There was an expectation that I would do well in school. If I got lower, if I didn't get, I got, my first semester at Michigan State, I kind of just, didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I got mostly B's, but I got some C's, and my father was like, on it right away. And same thing in high school. If I didn't perform well grade wise, although I think I did, I was third in the class. I think Sue was first or second.
First.
So Judy was second.
See, I wasn't just a floozy.
No, absolutely. Oh, no. I never thought of you as a floozy. I love that about. I love having that information. No.
Wow.
So anyway, that's about it.
Wait, I gotta go back to Sue. You were first in the class?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And you couldn't find somebody better than John?
Nice.
No. Second best was the quarterback from a half school. There was another guy in our class that many people dated, and he was a great guy. He has since passed, but Tommy Crolder.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's a great
Yeah.
guy.
Everybody loved Tommy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, my brother graduated up, toward, like 4th or 5th in class of 62. And he had a choice. He got a full scholarship to MIT. And
Wow.
he got a full scholarship to Lafayette. Now, Lafayette was on, I think, Route 81 that went straight up to Syracuse, or Oswego. And
81 also goes to Syracuse.
All right. So his Susan Passaro went to Oswego. They had been sweethearts, boyfriend, girlfriend from 10th, 11th, 12th. And, so he decided instead of going to MIT, he would go to Lafayette because he could drive straight up and see her. And they actually both finished school without getting married. And then, is that true? Graduated. So they got married in 65. She still graduated from Oswego, I think, in 3 years, and moved down to Easton, Pennsylvania. And whereupon they started having kids and ended up having 9 children.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That's great.
Holy mackerel, Andy.
Hey, she's Catholic. They had big Catholic families still. So, and it's my brother's deceased 11 years, but she still takes in babies, the foster care, but emergency foster care for babies.
Oh, wow.
And so the babies that come to her are 90 days or less, and she'll keep them until their 90th day. And she loves it. She can't get over it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Good-hearted woman.
Yeah, it's
Very good-hearted.
it totally amazing to me. So Mary, your
Yes.
turn.
All right. I
You-
too went to Hofstra. First, I went to Washington U for a year
You're
in
Washington U.
Missouri. Washington U's in St. Louis.
Oh, Wash U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried the Midwest. I was very tired of it very fast, and came back to Hofstra for my second, third, and fourth years, and graduated from Hofstra with a degree in education, elementary ed, and social sciences, and became a teacher for a short time. Had a 3-year teaching career and had enough. I decided I didn't like all children. I only liked some children.
There you go.
There you go. It was hard to show that you liked them all when you didn't.
Well,
Anyway.
it's a good thing you got out of it then.
Exactly. And I fell back on bookkeeping and stuff and wound up getting a master's in accounting. And I've been a tax accountant on my own in my own practice for 40 years.
Oh
my
I just retired. And
That's
I only
great.
retired 80% of them. 20% I'm keeping. I have
Wow.
no reason to stop. I kept all my out-of-staters. And a lot of my clients were with me anywhere from 35 years,
Oh, how
40
wonderful.
years,
That's
25 years.
terrific.
Yeah.
It was a
Wonderful.
wonderful career. Wonderful career.
Yeah,
And
that's
I have
great.
a daughter. Ed and I had a daughter, and we still do. And he lives in Hartford too. So Brenda is close to both her parents, and always has been.
Cool.
Nice.
And, she's wonderful. She's the. This is funny. I
Okay.
wound up with a scientist for a child. How? I don't know. She is the head of the water laboratory for the city of Manchester, keeping their water safe.
Wow.
Fabulous.
That's great.
Fabulous.
That's great.
And, and I
Wow.
got married last year. I'm happy as can be. And,
Wow.
it's been an interesting life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Particularly, getting married. There was some
In the
time?
middle of COVID,
Yeah. How do you do that?
on the front lawn with about 60 people who were willing to come and spread out. And then there were people who drove by, who were only going to do drive-by.
That's
Very
interesting.
cool.
Wow.
I loved your wedding pictures.
Yes,
Thank
So
you.
happy.
I did
Oh.
too. Especially the masks you guys wore. I loved them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah. I've seen that picture. Yeah.
It's a great picture. We
Yes.
had a great photographer. She brought
Yeah.
those masks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
no, but Howard made them. Howard actually did the design on them.
Oh, wow.
He's really very artistic. He's a photographer. So there's lots of pictures.
Cool. That's very cool.
Very
So-
cool.
So, Kathy, not to leave you when you're all of a sudden got the drink up to your mouth.
It's Coca-Cola.
I wasn't inferring anything.
Okay, no, that's all right. None taken.
So you said that you moved out of Wantagh, but you lived on Long Island.
Yes. When I got married, we moved to North Massapequa. Then we bought a house in Holbrook in Suffolk. And then after that, my kids and I lived in Bayport, Blue Point. Then I got married again. And then I got divorced again, but didn't lose the husband for another 10 or 12 years. And then I went to Ronkonkoma. And my kids by then were all grown up and everything. But so I have moved up until this place since I was 4 years old, 12 times.
Wow.
I've moved.
Wow.
It's like, I don't think I'm going to move again. But yes, I am, because I'm going back to the island in a few years. I'm not staying up here. My brother George, He did not graduate from Wantor because my parents moved out, and he graduated in 71 in Holbrook. But I miss my friends. I miss my kids. My brother has been here. My younger brother, George. Some of you probably knew Ronald
Yes,
Gustafson. He
I've
was a
heard of
big track
that.
star and all. But George moved up here 10 years ago when he retired because his son married a girl from this area who had twins. They had twins. So they've been up here, and he convinced me to come up. I like my place. I have a nice apartment, but it's not Long Island. It's not Long Island. If I had moved away maybe 40 years ago, like some of you, but I've been my whole life there. I spent 1 year in Florida in 2010, and that was the story. I was already divorced from the second one, and I got a Christmas card from the boyfriend I had all through high school. And we started talking, and he says, "Why don't you come to Florida and live with me?" So I did. I gave up my house. I took all my stuff to get down there, and him to say, "I thought you were just bringing your clothes."
Oh my God.
And then, then after almost
Wow.
a year, I said, "I can't do this. I can't do this." And I said, I'm going home. And he says, "I'll help you pack." I was out of there in
Dear.
2 weeks.
Oh,
What a
how
story.
awful.
And then the day I left and I pulled out of the driveway, he is crying. He's crying. And I went back up to him and I hit him like this in the chest. And I said, "Don't you dare cry." I said, you, no. I was like, you. And I was gone. So that was that. There was
Wow.
I never married him when I was 20.
That was somebody you knew from Wantagh.
No, he came from Plain Edge.
Oh,
We went steady at most of high school and then broke up. And I
well, you
talked
know,
to him maybe once or twice in 40 years. So what did I know?
you
My
know,
mother said,
people-
"Don't go until your dog dies."
yeah, those people from Plain Edge.
Yeah.
People.
Gotta watch out for those plain edge people, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, this is not a similar story, but Jean, who I'm with, was my first love in high school, and it was Facebook used to have this thing when somebody came on.
That's how I met Bill.
Yeah, that when you were looking for someone, it told you that they showed up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if something matched, if it was a high school, because they were trying to get people, you know, to use the system. So Jean came up, and it was like white on rice. You know, it just I drove up, and we've been. I mean, there were a few years before we, you know, solidified it enough to live together and stuff. But it's, you know, it was great, and it's interesting because she has nothing in her about Wantagh. You know, she doesn't care about Wantagh. She's, you know, to her, we just take Long Island Expressway to see her mom out in Greenport. She has no desire to reminisce about Wantagh, but she comes from a very big family that grew up in Wantagh. And you know, it's just an oddity, and I've always tried to figure out why I'm so involved with Wantagh and running the memorial site and running various pages for Wantagh, and it's because I left when I was 17.
Yeah.
And well, 16 really, and you know, that was it. You know, it stopped, and I never ever lived there again.
Yeah.
And she went as far as SUNY Purchase and New Paltz, and that's, you know, 45 miles away as the bird flies. And so for her, it's not, you know, it's not a mystery. For me, it's always remained a mystery on top, yeah, or something. You know, I've traveled the world, but everybody needs some place that they call home.
Absolutely.
And you know, so I've been to 119 countries, but
Wonderful.
you know, Wantagh's where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask John, did you play sports in Wantagh? when
I
you
did not play at Wantor, no. I didn't.
so
I was kind of an outcast because I had done the first 2 years at different schools. I did play football in my junior year, but I got thrown off the team for smoking.
Oh my God, really?
And at the same time, Tommy Crolder, I was just not much of a football player, but I wanted to impress the girls. Tommy Crolder was an exceptional basketball player. I don't know if you remember him, but he was tremendous, and he got thrown off the basketball team. So he got really hurt by it. Me, not so much.
wow.
So that was about it. That was my athletic career at Wanton.
Well, I would think
Was he-
football and getting thrown off the team.
Was he thrown off for smoking also?
Pardon me?
Yeah, yes, he was thrown off for smoking
Basketball.
for basketball, and
Uh-huh.
he was scholarship material.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, it was a shame.
Yeah.
But that was the rule. It was Coach Grady's. He
Right.
was the athletic director, and
Right.
he set the rule.
yeah.
He contacted me, through Facebook, not too long ago.
Who, Coach Grady?
Yeah, but he passed away just recently.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
And Coach
Yeah.
Marcino passed away recently.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
He-
the weatherman on CNN? I think. I don't know what his first name is, but his last name is Marcino, and I wondered if it was his son.
No,
I-
I know his two sons, and that's
Neither one
not,
is a weatherman
no.
on TV. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, my brother's hero in high school. Maybe you know who this person was, Wally Roll.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Wrestling.
Wrestling
I
and
know him.
football quarterback.
Yeah, and the star, and and it's like this knowledge that my brother had gets transferred to me. So I know these people, from the 60, the class of 60 through 75 when I graduated in 74, but class of 75. And Wally Roll, I actually met. I remember, and it's like, wow, this is the guy everybody thinks a star, but he was
He was.
17 years old. So
He was tremendous.
yeah,
Yes, he was. Yeah.
but then the question is, what did he do in college? Did he make it in college? That's I've always wondered.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
No idea.
Yeah. So that's the interesting thing. So I'll wait for Sue to get back.
It's my daughter calling.
Uh-oh.
Our daughter.
She's got to take a is she done for the show now?
No, she'll be right back. She'll
Yeah.
be right back. She'll come back.
Well, I'm so impressed. 5 foot and first in the class, and
Yeah.
she married someone 6'2".
Yep.
That's amazing.
And
So,
we dated since we were 16 years old. Got married at 22. And how long were we married? 55 years?
No, yeah, it'll be.
Your
Okay.
wedding picture is lovely. The two of you.
Yeah.
Your wedding picture, I love it. On Facebook?
Our wedding.
Oh, wedding pictures?
Yeah. You posted your wedding day.
Oh, you know what? I bet it was from on our 50th. The kids threw us.
No. This is when you just got married. Because you
Yeah,
were.
but they posted our wedding picture.
Oh, okay.
right.
That's what I'm thinking. So the kids had that party and they had wine glasses with our wedding picture and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
But it's a lovely picture.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
nice. Yep.
So, so the last question I have, you guys can take a stab at one or the other. At this point, you're retired in life. You've come, this far. what advice would you give either to yourself or to students in school now? Or is there anyone that you remember from high school who really influenced your life? So we'll go with John.
Well, I don't know if you guys will remember a fellow by the name of Bob Shute.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Bob
I
was
remember him.
my best friend growing up. We lived right around the block from one another. We had a lot of interests together, a lot of fishing. We spent a lot of time boating and fishing. And he recently passed away. I guess, what, a year or so ago now?
I saw it on Facebook.
He had a massive heart attack. And he was just, I didn't realize it back then, but he turned out being the best looking guy in the class, according to the yearbook. And that's not what he wanted. What he wanted to be was the funniest guy in the class, because he was extremely funny.
Bob, what was his last name?
Shute, S-H-U-T-E.
Okay, I don't remember him.
Well, he was the best looking guy in the
I
class.
think he was not our class.
Oh,
though.
yeah, 62.
He was a year.
He was 62.
62.
Okay.
He's a year
So he was
ahead
a
of us.
great-
So he was a year ahead. Yeah.
Most of my friends, because I went to different schools, my friends were mostly the neighborhood friends.
Right.
And the neighborhood friends were guys like Bob Shute, Bob Bimbo, Jimmy Cachitas. We all lived in the same area. They went to different schools. They all went to the Wanto schools, and I went to Catholic. So, anyway, I would say the guy who influenced me the most was Bob Shute.
Cool. I'll have to make sure that he's in the memorial. So, it seems to me that Mary has the best sense of humor. I would think that she got the class comedian.
I came in second. That was my really saddest thing, that I came in second of wittiest in the class.
Who was
They had the
funnier?
wittiest girl.
Who was
and
funnier?
I thought I deserved to be first,
Who?
but I didn't make it.
Who was wittiest?
Carol Gens came in first.
Oh, really?
Carol Gens.
Carol Gens?
Really? She wasn't really funny. I liked her a lot, but
Yeah, but she won the funniest. But anyway, I've been known for my sense of humor forever.
I can tell, and you got a great laugh. So
I never stopped laughing.
that's my grandfather
No matter
always
what
said.
happens,
Yeah.
you gotta laugh your way through it.
That's true.
It's funny because my grandfather, that was what he always taught us. You have to find humor in everything.
Yes, and you
Yeah.
have to enjoy every day.
Yeah.
And I'd say the people, you want to know who influenced
Yeah,
me the most
yeah.
in Montauk?
Yeah.
I have to say, without a doubt, Marie Douglas, Fran Lehman, Karen Evans, and we have been friends to this day. We're friends now. It's from 60 years.
wow, yeah.
And we see each other all the time. Well, not
That's
as
great.
often as we want,
That's great.
because Karen is in Wyoming. Fran is in Dix Hills. Marie is in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I'm here in West Hartford, Connecticut. But we've never stopped talking, and I rely on them, love them dearly.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, Kathy.
Boy, oh boy. I really don't know who influenced me from Wanto. I never thought about it, and I can't think of who it would be now. I had a wonderful teacher in Mrs. Delman. I found her very inspirational, and I learned business things from her and all. But I always liked her, and I thought that she was a really great teacher and a great person. And my advice to anybody today would be, if you fall in a hole 7 times, don't fall in an 8th hole. Just get up and keep going.
Yeah.
Other than that, you got to keep going no matter what. Keep going.
No, that's good. And I can't tell you the number of people who have said Mrs. Delman,
Yeah. Oh, I loved her. She was wonderful.
and that
Business teacher.
yeah, she taught. Yeah,
What
she
did
taught.
you teach?
Business.
Oh, business.
Business law. In fact, I'm in the yearbook in the
Oh.
picture with her and the rest of the law club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, other people have. But did Miss Delman? Did she teach typing as well?
Maybe. I remember being in Mr. Albany's class for typing. I don't know I don't think I was in hers for that.
Yeah, I think she came up as because some people I asked what was the greatest influence, and they said that she taught them how to type, and
Yeah.
that skill had remained with them because they became a writer, and that skill paid off for them being able to type quickly. I like getting up after you fall. That's
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I fell in a lot of holes. I don't do that anymore. I am much more mellow than I ever was in my life. Just keep on going. Smile. Forget it.
yeah. I hear you. That's good. So, Sue, what's your thought?
Well,
Oh,
before she says anything,
Oh, wait.
I
What?
need to correct what I said earlier. The biggest influence on me in high school was Sue Passaro.
Ah,
Because without Sue Passaro, I probably wouldn't have graduated high school. Not Wonka anyway, and I probably wouldn't have graduated college either if it wasn't for her. And that's the fact.
Now, should I say you?
No.
Okay, my advice is that education has to, you have to be well-rounded. And I think besides the academic, which obviously is the most important part, there is a social part. And you need to develop a personality trait in order to succeed and social skills. So that would be, as far as people, I think of 3 people at Montreal High School, 3 teachers. One was Mr. Menacho.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he made every kid feel so special.
yeah, he was good.
He was so good. And then we had Mr. Pepe.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember Mr. Pepe? He taught junior high, right? And he's still on Facebook. We still see him on Facebook.
Alan Pepe.
Alan Pepe. The third one is, and I'll Miss Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
was
loved her.
She
Yep.
was so good. And I'll just tell you one quick funny story about her. So I had met John over the summer, but he was at Chaminade. But I had met him, Betty Arquette, who was in our class. I had met him in her yard at a party, and I had seen him once at the beach, and I really liked him, but that was it. Then we started school, and the first day of school, I was sitting in the front of Miss Fitzpatrick's class, and not knowing he had transferred. And he comes walking into class. We're all seated, and I remember thinking, "Thank you, Jesus." And from then on, really, we dated. But three very. There were other great. There were so many, but those teachers, yeah.
Did you guys get class couple? Did you get the class couple?
No, we didn't. Kathy Halloran and
Pete Keelan.
Pete Keelan. They were very cute, though. Very cute.
They were. They dressed alike.
Did
They
they get
didn't
married?
know together.
Huh?
Did they stay together and get married?
I don't think so. I don't even know
No.
what happened to Pete.
She married I believe, a physician from California. I think.
Yeah.
He was from here. He was from,
Her husband.
yeah. She
Did
met
they
him in-
move to California?
They moved to California and she's been there ever since.
Wow.
I can't think of his name right
Yeah,
now.
I just met him at one of our early reunions. Then I never saw her again.
Cool. All right. So, Gretchen,
Mm-hmm.
turn.
Okay. The people who influenced me, Doris Haycox was
Oh, yeah.
a big influence.
She's the
You know,
second most mentioned person.
yeah, she was fabulous, and so was Mr. Menacho and Miss Fitzpatrick. I liked all of them, and Mr. Ranch, the French teacher.
Yeah.
There were lots of teachers who I thought were wonderful. Oh gosh, the English teacher for freshman honors English, Miss Keene. She was good too. She was excellent. Anyway, my advice to people would be do what you love because life is short.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
And don't wait. I mean, we all waste time. At least I have in my life, but I try not to anymore. Do what you love and take care of yourself and others. Be kind to others.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Very good
Yeah.
advice. There's
Yeah.
another teacher from junior high was really tremendous, was Miss Copeman.
Oh, I remember her. I remember her English teacher.
English.
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
She taught us
I had her.
grammar and how to write.
Yeah.
didn't
How to
she?
write a
Wasn't she also an academic advisor, Miss Copeman?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't remember that.
Remember Mr. Dunn,
Mm-mm.
English teacher on senior English, I think.
Oh, yes. He was senior honors English.
Yes, he was excellent.
He was a great teacher.
Yeah, he was.
Mrs. Coronius, also Carol Coronius' mom, also
Yes,
taught English.
I'm having lunch with Carol.
Oh,
next
wow,
week.
nice.
Oh, how nice.
Tell her we all said hello.
I will.
Hello. Yes.
Maybe she's watching. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, this, I should have said this at the beginning. This will be on YouTube and it'll be up there forever. People can tune in. And I'll send you the link when we're done.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And I want to thank you all for participating in
Oh,
this.
thank you for doing this.
For doing
Thank
it.
you for doing
Yes,
it.
thank you. And it's so
Wonderful.
good to see everybody. It was
Yeah,
really
It's
wonderful. Thank
definitely
you.
wonderful to see you.
Yes.
See
Yeah.
how happy you all are.
Yeah, Gretchen
Yeah.
pulled this together. Next week we have class of 71, and then after that we have class of 60 through 63, no, 62. So, and then a class of,
You get my brother on that one.
Oh, he'd be great.
He loves Wanta.
oh,
In
well,
fact, he's still living Wanta.
oh,
Doesn't really, but I mean, whenever we're with his brother, all he talks about is, and remember when, over and over. So he would be a great resource.
okay, I will send an email to you guys.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you very much.
Thank
All right,
you. Great to see all of you.
all right, take
Yeah.
care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm
Bye.
going to friend you, Sue and Mary, because I'm not on your page.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Then-
All right.
right.
Bye.